as I really struggle with Instagram on my phone after not having used it in a long time. How's everyone doing? Okay, this might be a problem, so I have to stream. Why am I all the way over here? Okay. Uh, I have not set up my system in a long time, so let me just do a few things. I don't usually stream in the daylight, but such is winter. So this is not beer, this is a wine, which I don't think is very good. I don't know if it's gone bad or something. It doesn't really look like wine. 2021 Syrah Nouveau, whatever that means. How's everyone doing? So a little bit of an unusual setup today because I got a new laptop, and typically I stream on my streamer, which is a desktop, and then have the laptop in front of me to sort of manage the stream. So I'll have to sort of make do with just an ultra wide in front of me instead of a laptop screen as well. So this is a Lenovo ThinkPad T14S Gen 6 AMD, which the sticker is just out of the frame, but believe me, it's the AMD version. So it's got, what has it got on it? I should probably just open the properties, but basically it's my new laptop. I love ThinkPads, and I thought I may as well bench it before it gets too grubby or too much crap is installed on it. Cheers, by the way. Okay, so here's the laptop. I don't know why the aspect ratio doesn't fit, but I just gave up trying to fix that. Let me just get, and yes, Windows 11. I tried to install Windows 10 on it. Just no driver support, which is very artificial because Windows 10 drivers and Windows 11 drivers are, they're intercompatible. So I don't know how, like, why would anyone choose to, completely lock out the drivers for no good reason? I mean, I know what it is: corporate greed and profit, and what is it called? Plan obsolescence and all the rest of it. But in terms of believing in the best in humanity, I don't know why anyone would do it. I know I probably shouldn't believe in the best in humanity, but I refuse to change my ways because I'm an optimist. Okay. So a few things to note right off the bat. Come on, GPZ, you can open. You can open, right? So, Strix Point. Okay, so it's a 360 Pro. Ryzen 7 is the designation. We've got 30 gigs of LPDDR5. Obviously don't believe any of these readings. It's soldered, but it is in the traditional sense 2 channels. In the DDR5 nomenclature, 4 channels, and it is I think it's 6400 speed or something is a spec on it. 32 gigs. Obviously the motherboard type won't say very much. Yeah, Strix Point, and it's the 768 shader, so it's good to have that sort of noted down straight away because these things aren't obvious when you're talking mobile hardware. Okay, let me just, okay, so the MooBot did still work, so that's good. Let me just pull up, and you'll hear much more clicky keyboard because I've had to pull out a mechanical keyboard I don't use in order to use this desktop, because I usually have the laptop connected and then I use like a screen sharing app to use the laptop keyboard to operate my desktop streamer. I know, all very boring minutia, but I thought I'd mention it. Let's just go back to the rig setup for one more time. So okay, mobile benching obviously isn't like desktop benching. I think that's kind of obvious. But I do have a few sort of minor tweaks that may help the score. Really obvious, but I'll just mention it. Okay, so obviously there's HDMI out to capture the screen output. That doesn't affect anything. And then there's obviously keyboard and mouse over here connected via USB-A, so I don't have to go reaching over to use the bench rig. But then I have the charger connected. It's the charger that came with the laptop, 65 watt. I do kind of wonder if I were to use a third-party charger or a charger from a higher spec Lenovo, would that somehow give it more chance to boost higher and longer? But obviously this is tasting better chilled than it did not so chilled yesterday. Obviously having the power connected means, you know, in a long bench you don't just drain the battery and have the laptop go into a low power state for no reason, which it may very well do anyway. And the last sort of trick up my sleeve is a USB-C Ethernet dongle. I don't know if that will do anything, but there are certain benches here that sort of require you to be online all the time, and I'd rather be wired than wireless. In terms of cooling, I do sort of have it. It's a pretty cold day today anyway, but I do sort of have it perched on the, you don't really see this, but sort of perched on the side of the table so you can vent air a little bit better than it usually would. So this is like a bottom venting laptop, but it does have a ridge on the bottom to sort of angle it up a bit. So I'm not doing anything crazy to allow the air to escape in that sense. I just wanted the stream to look good, basically. But those are all my minor tweaks. Now let's go back to, let's go back to here. Okay, so that worked. So what we're looking for is, do I have to log in just to browse hardware? Okay, or am I just, new design? Okay, so let's try and find, plus browse video cards. Okay, let's try and find AMD. It would be, I believe, RDNA 3.5. No, it's the RDNA 4 actually. No. There's no name like 890 that's given. Strix point. Has it not been added yet? It's not as old as 3. No, it's not the 700 series. My previous laptop was a 660M, I think. I may be able to just look at the actual listing for the laptop. Lenovo ThinkPad T14S AMD Gen 6 AMD. Does it give some sort of qualification as to what the iGPU is? 880M, okay. So now let's look at the 880. I haven't looked at this before. I've just, focused on setting up the stream. That's like zoomed in too much or something. Okay, 880M. Okay, no subs on the 880M, so that's good. So the other thing we wanted to look at was HarborBot Ryzen AI 360. Okay, maybe I'll have to also drill down. Yes, we're on AMD. Socket, I have no clue, so we'll go architecture. This is, so what does the CPU-Z identify it as? It identifies it as Strix point. Okay. Just for the sake of completeness, let's go 7360. AMD should have a listing page for it also. Yeah, okay. So what do they classify it as? I believe it's Zen 4, but... Hey, Paul. Okay, Zen 5. Okay, so good that I checked. All right, so that's Zen 5. So it should be under here. All of these have 0 subs, it feels like. Yep, 0 subs. So okay, I can do like a clean sweep kind of thing, because neither the iGPU nor the CPU have any subs. Okay, let's go back to this. All right, so somewhat controversial, I would say, but a little bit like the quad channel DDR5 nomenclature. I'll try to put it as neutrally as possible. Even though a Zen 5C, C stands for compact core, is nowhere near as different to a like P core in the Intel sense as an E core is, CPU-Z has still, the developers of CPU-Z have still decided to call it P plus E. I think the C core is only, the compact cores, they're just missing a little bit of cache. So that's very deceiving, misleading, inaccurate, I would say. You can also tell that they have SMT, unlike Intel. So, okay, maybe to go back to absolute basics. On a modern day Intel CPU, you have P cores and E cores. P cores and E cores are extremely different from one another. Okay, I know on Ultra they got rid of hyperthreading completely, but let's go back one generation to the 14th gen. The way that things worked was P cores were bigger die size, higher performance, fewer of them, higher clocking, more cache, more instruction sets. Certainly in the case of the 12th gen, where the P cores had AVX 512 and the E cores did not, and I believe very, very crucially, so at least 7 differences, right? Very, very crucially, a different microarchitecture to the E cores. Okay, so I know E cores have gained performance quite a lot, but it's still a fact that P cores are a totally different microarchitecture. So in the case of 13th and 14th gen, Raptor Lake, and then it's a Cove microarchitecture, so an Atom derivative for the E cores on Intel. So they couldn't be any more different. Now contrast this with AMD. You do have SMT across all cores. You do have the same microarchitecture across all cores. I believe I'm right in saying they all share the same clock domain, unlike P and E cores on Intel. So it's all similarities rather than differences. You have the same manufacturing process, which I'm not even that sure with the tile-based setup Intel has anymore on Ultra. Same microarchitecture, and not as big of a disparity in terms of how many cores you have. You know, you had some like 6P, 8E type setups, and then on the 14900K, you had 8P, 16E. Here it's more like similar, right? Like 3P, 5E. So I don't like that CPU-Z is even pointing out the differences between a regular Zen 5 core and a Zen 5C core. But such is life. This is how they designate them, and we just have to work with it. So 4 nanometer, which TSMC, which is a 5 nanometer derivative, just like 6 nanometer was a 7 nanometer derivative. You won't find anything unusual around here. Obviously the vid readout is, this is mobile, you know, this is what you get. Max TDP, I think this is like the biggest, like the highest boost. This is not a high power CPU. You need the HX variants for that. You need certainly Ryzen 9s as well. So TDP, let's go back to our listing. We may as well. So see, you've got a configurable TDP of 15 to 58, but I think the nominal is 28. Anyway, all right. So I hope we're all on the same page now in terms of what's going on with this. No, not a new work laptop. Okay, so maybe this is worth sort of talking about. Fuck it, let me get my work laptop to show you how shit it is in comparison to this one. All right. Yeah, I know why you asked that question though, Paul, because um, ThinkPads do have a reputation of being work machines, and they don't get sold like retail. They only get sold direct from manufacturer. Um, but I'll try. I need to cover certain serial numbers and things. I don't want any identifying information to be shown as to who my employer is and all that. This is my work laptop. So this is a 12-inch Dell convertible. I don't use the convertible aspect of it because it's a work machine. Why the fuck is it a convertible? But such is life, right? In terms of, so the cooling is even worse. The cooling is bottom mounted, but there is not as big of a lip to get the laptop to sort of rest up and give it space. It's, if you want to look it up, it's a Latitude 7330 2-in-1 convertible because it's powered off, so we're safe. But it auto powers off when you turn it on, which is a problem because, okay, I don't want to show like the OS or anything because it's customized by my employer, so I'm just gonna re-shut it down again. But I fully powered it off when I finished work like an hour ago, and I don't have BIOS access because I'm just an employee. I'm not like internal IT. So I can't turn off this stupid fucking feature that it powers on every time you open the lid. What if I want to open the lid just to like clean the screen or something while it's turned off? So shit. So here we go. It's convertible, and it's got a glossy screen. So that's two things immediately that I hate. Matte screens all the way. 12 inches too small, but they only carry two models. One of which is a workstation, like a mobile workstation, which I'm just going to hurt my back for no reason carrying around a really powerful laptop that I don't need. And the other is, so basically the two options of laptops we have at a company that has 500 employees locally is too small and too loud and shitty and and underperforming, or too big and too heavy. So this is the two. I decided to go with the too small app variant. And anytime my boss tells me why things take a long time, I'm like, well, our laptops are shit. You fucking sort it out. Okay, rant over. But it is convertible, and it is not Meteor Lake either. So this is the other problem with this. My previous laptop died. I was working from home. I pinged the guy. I'm like, I can't work without a laptop. Can you please provision a new laptop? I'll drive straight to the office and I'll pick it up. I need a new laptop. And he's like, this is what this is what I've got in stock. And it's like, this is the year 2024. And not only do I think this chassis is touchscreen as well, because you need touchscreen for a work machine. No, you fucking don't. Touchscreen that I disabled straight away as soon as I got the laptop. Glossy screen, that's for watching movies. I don't fucking watch movies, I do work. A shit keyboard, no track point. I could go on. But to top it all off, in 2024, they gave me a 12th gen. So I believe it's an Alder Lake derivative. So it's so fucking, like, it does fuck all work. Like, it has no performance, but it's as hot as shit because it's 12th gen, and 12th gen was, notoriously a bad mobile generation. Whatever about 12th gen on desktop, it had its merits, but mobile, it's terrible. So this is I think it's a 2P core, 8E core, i5. I don't know how the fuck you can call that an i5, because as far as I'm concerned, in the year 2025, no chip should ever have less than 4P cores, probably 6P cores. I've had, for my personal laptop, I've had 6-core AMD CPUs since 2022. And before that, it was 4-core 8-thread, which I would still argue, with how shit corporate software is better than 2P880 or whatever this is. I have to struggle through it. I mean, I get paid regardless, so I shouldn't really complain. It's like, it's basically an excuse to do less work because it's so shit. Oh, I need to cover that sticker. But yeah, very, very bad. And, you know, to top it all off, this internal IT person was like, when I told him my laptop is broken, I sent him a video of the like flashing lights, and I sent him a link to the manual saying this indicates a memory, i.e. a RAM error. It doesn't post because it's not recognizing the RAM. He's like, oh, okay, it probably is broken. Do you need the replacement today? And I'm like, what, you want me to just sit around and do nothing for a day? Like, of course I fucking need the replacement today. What are you talking about? So, okay, that's the rant about the work laptop. But here's a little thing about my personal laptop. So I've bought ThinkPads since 2011. So 14 years running. This is my 5th, maybe. I tend to replace about every 2.5 to 3 years. I like them because they're indestructible. I could drop this repeatedly on stream. I fucking guarantee you would still turn on and still do work. It's got matte screen options. It's got the track point, which is very good. And it's got a good keyboard, good key travel. Not as good as the key travel used to be on ThinkPads, but still industry leading. It's got AMD options. Not every manufacturer gives, you know, even has the AMD options. I think, okay, there is Meteor Lake, and Meteor Lake has caught up with AMD in terms of like heat and performance and all the rest of it, but that's like an ultrabook specific CPU. AMD has good mobile CPUs up and down the range. I'm not saying that they're class leading in every single class, but if I want something a little bit like mid-market, like 28 TDP, this is the jam. This is great. I did have to go up to a 14-inch. I love my laptops to be portable because I travel a lot. So the sweet spot for me, previously I had an X13, so a 13-inch. This is a 14-inch, so it's a little bit, you can tell from the way that the keyboard doesn't take up the entire chassis. Like there's space for a speaker here. It's a little bit wider than I'd like it to be, but it is 16:10 screen ratio. That's also not guaranteed. I don't know what my Dell is. Matte screen, that's really important. Like I said, a good keyboard, a good selection of ports as well. So 2 USB-C, USB 4, whatever that is in terms of data transaction rates, 2 USB-A, an HDMI, and a headphone jack. And that's already, in this kind of form factor, that's already way beyond the standard. And I love that because I need it. Even though I use a dock both at, I use a dock pretty much all the time. If I'm like traveling somewhere and I just want to like pull the fucking HDMI from the back of a TV and watch a TV show on the TV, I want that port to be on my laptop. And ThinkPads are just unbeatable in that sense. So yeah, why did I have to go to a 14-inch? This is a rumor. This is like more of an accusation that I'm making. I don't have anything to back this up, but I believe Intel may be doing the same thing that they did in the early 2000s, which is, and which they got sued for, by the way, and lost the court case. So this is like a fact, which is, how should I put it euphemistically? Incentivizing manufacturers not to carry their carry AMD laptops basically in certain ways. You can use your imagination as to how that might be done. Or you can just read the court case. And I believe potentially one of the outcomes, one of the results of this illegal action that I'm alleging may be happening, is that from last generation to this generation, the AMD version of the X13 was dropped. So maybe for people who are not familiar, There's basically, in terms of like the sort of mainstream laptops that Lenovo does, ThinkPads, not the consumer end of things. There's the X1 Carbon, which is the Ultrabook. Then there's the X line, which is slightly less portable than the Ultrabook, but still very, very portable. And then the next most portable would be the TS line. S stands for slim, I think. So this is now, they did introduce the Z line, which doesn't have a lot of ports. It's more of a lifestyle laptop. But in terms of like the mainstream ThinkPads, with the discontinuation of the X30, there never was a Carbon, an AMD Carbon. That's always been exclusive Intel. But with the discontinuation of the X13 AMD version, this is now the thinnest and lightest and smallest AMD ThinkPad available, which is a 14-inch, which is quite big, I feel like. But in terms of weight, at least, it's still 1.3 kilos. My previous laptop was an X, and that was a 1.3 kilo. So at least I'm not losing out in that sense. But yeah, every time, the lineup of the thing, I don't know if they don't sell or what, but the ThinkPad lineup changes every generation. So the previous one that I had was, like I said, the 2022 model. It was a 6 series. So sorry, I'm not talking about the laptop model now. I'm just talking 6 series Ryzen. So Ryzen, in a ThinkPad sense, the first Ryzen ThinkPad was a 3 series. So that was Zen Plus, just to give you an idea. I don't know what happened with 4 and 5 series. I don't know if they were skipped, or certainly I didn't buy it. So I went from a 3 series to a 6 series. So the 6 series was Zen 3 Plus. So that was 6 nanometer. So I went from Zen Plus to Zen 3 Plus. And now I'm on Zen 5. So I kind of have done every second Zen generation. I need to cover the sticky note with my password. It's MFA anyway, so the password wouldn't really get you anywhere. You'd also have to break into my house and steal one of my cell phones, and then like maybe threaten me with a baseball bat, so I give you the pin for the phone, and then the combination of that password and then that MFA app on my phone would give you access to my work laptop. But you probably noted, is that a threat? You probably still wouldn't be able to do very much, because a lot of the tools inside of my work laptop have their own passwords and their own MFA methods. So it's like, short of kidnapping me, you wouldn't be able to do anything useful, basically. And I'm being honest here. If I told you our if our security was shit, I'd tell you, but our security is not shit. So MFA for everything. Matt's mom is okay with 12-inch. She certainly is, Carla. She certainly is. I remember, you remember me trying to kill it. Okay, now, all of that preamble out of the way, there is maybe 2 more things that I wanted to just mention, which were, next time I get LN2, I'll try TFX, because I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's just come in. So I just wanted to share that. Apparently, in terms of viscosity, it's not great. Like spreadability, it's not great. And I may as well show you the dead PSU, which is in the other room. So this has been my main benching PSU for about 2 years. So it's, I don't know which generation of EVGA 1600 it is, but it was an EVGA 1600. I was really happy with it. I think it gave me a little bit extra on valids and stuff like that. Unfortunately, before I went on holidays, I started hearing, people on the Discord will have heard this story already, but I'll just retell it in case you haven't heard it. I started hearing a little bit of a sizzling noise while it was in operation. This was not under high load or anything. I sort of foolishly, maybe not so foolishly, kept benching anyway. And there was an insanely, eventually, when I think the next time or the time after that I powered it on, there was an insanely loud bang. Someone who's an electrician told me that the input cap probably died. Like, it was like like I was extremely startled. So it's definitely dead. I don't know if I can sort of RMA it or whatever, but it would certainly be a very long process. From what I've sort of read, hello, electric meme rat. TFX is quite thick, but I think it's quite nice. Yeah, well, for LN2 overclocking, welcome to the stream, by the way. First time chatter. What I'm interested in terms of TFX is for LN2 overclocking. I won't be using it for daily. It's too expensive down here for me to do that. Or for, sorry, ambient overclocking. So yeah, maybe I can RMA this. I don't know. I think EVGA really only properly RMA stuff in the US, and then in Australia it becomes a big hassle. Maybe I'll just take it with me to Taiwan, and see if I can do something with it. But yeah, that's fully dead. So kind of just because I got a good deal, like partially because I got a good deal, but also partially because of Lumi's comments that this is great for legacy benching. As of now, I decided to get, so I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in Australia, Corsair have a 10-year local warranty on their power supplies. So this Corsair came with an invoice for a local Aussie retailer. So it is used, but with that invoice for the local Aussie retailer, it has something like 8.5 years of warranty left. So that was, and the price was good. And Lumi made a video about this being a good legacy benching PSU because the minor rails that are not really used in modern systems anymore, I believe from memory they're 5 volts and 3.3 volts, are unusually big basically on this PSU. So AX1600i, just picked that up from the post office today. I may as well do a little bit of like an unboxing, I guess. I have no idea what's in here, so I may as well show you because it's complete. So there are some magnets to put on the side of the PSU. Not really all that excited by that, but fuck it, it's bling, I guess. I'll just be putting Kingpin stickers on the side as usual. Okay, so there's a physical manual. Great. Now we're going to look at that. Important information, not that important. Alright. Yeah, just cable ties. So it is, so my I killed 2 AX1500Is in my benching career, and one of the hassles with them was they had the higher amp attachment, whereas this just has a kettle. You're gonna make fun of me for calling this a kettle plug, but this is a fucking kettle. Do you call it an IEC plug? Like, someone corrected me at some point and said, you can't call it a kettle plug, that's not the real name for it. And then I said, all right, it's called an IEC plug. And then they were like, oh, but there's different IEC plugs. Well, what type of IEC plug? So fuck all of that. This is a kettle plug. Everyone knows what a kettle plug is. And it's easier to replace or find a spare one or whatever than is it the 14 amp? You call it a power cable. Okay, that's not very specific. Okay, so some more cable ties, Velcro ones, and here's all the modular cables, nicely packaged up. So this power supply is technically end of life, but I think it's gone like end of life relatively recently. And it's, you know, it's considering it's 1600 watts, it's not that chunky, you know. It's not that chunky at all. So let's do a size comparison with EVGA Big Boy. Certainly longer, you can see that. In terms of height, slightly less tall, I'd say about 5 millimeters. And then let's talk width is the same, right? That's probably the ATX standard. But yeah, considering how big of a box it came in, I'm a little bit surprised by the size of it. But okay, as long as it delivers the 1600 watts and does an OCP and a single rail and all that. And then this is a nice touch, how this bag kind of just folds out with all the cables. Right, I thought I'd show that just because it came in today. All right, I think that's everything. Ooh, paste. I don't paste spin. Like the same reason, for the same reason I don't change like hardware bot teams much. If something works, it works, you know. I'm happy with KPX. I don't do enough 3D benching for paste spinning to really make much of a difference for me. But I heard some stuff about TFX that made me curious, whereas I haven't heard the same about Ubu. Can't afford Sub-Zero gear yet. Well, I hope that changes. Sub-Zero benching is fun. Fart. But as a just C13. I've never heard. This must be some weird French name, like French Canadian name or something. I've never in my life heard the terms C30 and C19 for power cables. Fake news. Oh yay, we got our first spammer that we need to get rid of. $2027, nice. Okay, let's do some benching, eh? So the only other thing I need to check, I would have hoped that power plant would already be on like high performance. How do you make okay, it shouldn't make much of a difference for 3D, so let's start with 3D. Let's start with superposition. Nothing running in the background. Close Steam as well. I mean, I haven't, obviously because this is my daily, I haven't done anything special with the OS, but let's just see what happens with superposition. It's been such a long ass time since I've run this. So I believe the presets that are hardware bot relevant are 8K optimized and 1080p extreme. So let's try 8K optimized. I think it should run anyway, even though there's not enough VRAM, because these kind of laptops dynamically allocate iGPU VRAM as necessary, and with the 32 we should be okay. I mean, it's not going to run very fast, but something about Taiwan. Sorry. Oh, that clipped the microphone. Oh, you can't see the FPS because of the HarborBot logo. Well, that's tragic. Maybe I just hide it just for superposition. There you go. Hey, let me scroll back. Going to Taiwan is you thought you were asking for a channel out of curiosity. Yes, so I did. So that's the other news. So there's already been so much preamble because I had to explain mobile benching, which I don't usually do. I haven't streamed in 6 months, and I had a few things to show off. But one more bit of preamble is I did book my flights to Taiwan a couple of days ago. So I am definitely going for a week. Not as of right now. It's not for any particular purpose. I mean, it's to go to Computex and meet the people who are going to Computex, but in the sense that I'm not, as of right now, participating in any like OC sessions, specific OC sessions, or you know, gonna have a stand at Computex or anything like that. But I am potentially working on something, but I can't talk about it yet. But absolute worst case scenario, I'll go to Taiwan for a week, hang out with some benchers, do some hiking, have a holiday, and go to Computex for the first time in my life, and just have some fun. So that'd be good. I'm looking forward to that. Hope that answers your question. Oh yeah, Paul, you're there. So I'm a bit ignorant as to who is sort of like qualified and not qualified and all the rest of this. So I'm just gonna take one more look at the G skill. Okay. So final results sends. Oh, so you're going not for G skill, just for something else, because final results appear to be Sen, Sevi, Biso, Black Dot, Surgeman, Demon 527, which I'm not familiar with, Mika, Lumi, and Chiangsheng. I think it was top 9. The alternate is Zero Dan. Okay, cool. It's good to go to places for fun and not have to like do work or whatever. Okay, so I'm curious as to. I haven't benched this laptop at all, so I'm curious as to what kind of number this is going to spit out. I mean, you know, the laptop isn't overclockable in the conventional sense. Okay, 774. Let's immediately look at that in some sort of context with other iGPUs. So we want a graphics card benchmark. We want a hardware filter on iGPUs, and then the benchmark is going to be superposition 8K, and then we want where is it? Hardware rank first. We don't want duplicates. We want just one of each. Okay, so here's all the iGPU results that are currently up. So obviously the 780M is amazing. And then interestingly enough, I mean the Arrow Lake iGPU did get better. I'm surprised that there's one Intel. So basically, long story short, this is with a little bit of tweaking. I mean, I have a 774. This is a 783. With a little bit of tweaking, this would be the 4th fastest iGPU in the world for 8K. So that's kind of nice. Okay, but let's. No, this is a desktop system. Okay, we need to disregard this one. These M's are actual true laptop systems though. So oh no, this is Phoenix. Okay. Wow, this is the fastest 8K. Am I saying this right? This is Phoenix as well. World record laptop, guys. The fastest Unigen 8K run ever on a laptop. It's not bad, is it? Has no one run this? Because laptops have dedicated cards. Like there's laptops with. Am I going insane? What am I doing wrong? Did I do the wrong search? Like there exist laptops that have dedicated GPUs inside of them, like a fucking 4090, like a cut down version of a 4090. Oh, but I didn't select for that. Oh, okay. And there would be no way of finding it because the drop down is like integrated or card. Okay, so asterisk. So fastest iGPU laptop superposition 8K result in the world. Still nice. Stream done. Hey Bulent, how are you doing? Are my bots working, by the way? So this is the rig command today isn't very spectacular. Oh, I knew I was missing something. Where's the rig? So I had to move around all my. I haven't had all my cameras and stuff set up in so long that I like barely sort of remembered. Hold on. Here we go. Doing live editing. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop. I mean, it's just a picture of a keyboard, but I still like to have a rig cam in the frame when I'm benching. Now let's line this crap up. Harder than it looks, guys. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Lock this, and that's kind of okay. Close enough. Okay, so now I can point to it. This is what I'm overclocking today, guys, if you joined late. Now, here comes the even more important question. I don't even remember the validation rules for superposition. So I'm guessing you need a GPU Z tab. And 2 CPU Zs. Okay. Data file and verification link only for global top 20. Okay, so I can just do this. Ooh, where is... Do I have a screenshot utility somewhere? I'm going to be taking a lot of screenshots. I should be, like, that's one thing I forgot. I'm now out of USB-A ports, but I forgot that for once the bench rig is on the network, so I can just go to my NAS and get stuff. The luxury of being able to just go to your NAS instead of using USB sticks for everything. Okay, to the utilities. All right, let's put that there. Did that work? Yeah, that worked. Okay, so now let's actually arrange stuff appropriately. Boom, 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 and capture. So that was 774 super pause. Okay. Now let's run the other preset, which is 1080p extreme. Okay, a great success. Yeah. Okay. Let me look up the actual factual specs of this laptop. We may as well while we're waiting for this run to finish. Okay, so you've got your 400 nits, which is nice, 100% RGB, low power, matte screen, 16:10. We already talked about the CPU. Yeah, so it's 7500 RAM, LPDDR5X, so that could be helping the score quite a bit. I don't have 1 tera. I don't store much locally, so I just go for 512 because it never fills up anyway. And yeah, I think the webcam is actually quite good because it's beyond like 1080p. It's 5 megapixel, whatever that is. Can someone work that out? I don't know, 2K or something, 2.5K. Yeah, 1.3 kilograms, carbon fiber, 58 watt-hour battery. Battery life is amazing, actually. Slim adapter, and yeah, so it's got, that's right, 40 gigabits per second, legit Thunderbolt 4 ports. People keep like there's like this sort of like urban myth almost of AMD not having Thunderbolt ports, but that has not been the case in a long time. Yeah, it does. Oh, what I wanted to look up was how do I get the full power max performance power plan Windows 11. Okay, I have screenshots here to show me. Okay, so what else is there to talk about? Yeah, I have not streamed in a long time, and I do apologize for that. And And I was looking, the last stream I did wasn't really a real stream because I didn't have hardware on the bench. I was just watching the clock tick down on the FX 6300 push the hardware comp. I wanted to do a similar thing, so I was really busy with the so the FX 6300 I managed to win. Then I managed to win the 5800K comp, but the end time for that was slightly different. It was like 7 a.m. on a work day, my time, and I was like, I have to like get up at 6 a.m. to even start the stream on time, or even earlier. I'm not doing that, but I would have streamed for that. But otherwise, yeah, only new streams recently, which is a bit of a shame. Let me look. When's the last time I streamed? 31st of October. Now that's insane. Okay, run is about to end. Let's again try to put this into context. So it's a 1447. Now let's look at similar results. So this is 2009. What's that? What kind of rig is that? That's a Haswell. How is a Haswell chip this good at superposition? I don't understand. It's probably just a bugged run or something. Yeah, that's a bugged run. I'm reporting that. What is it? Score faster than current gen AMD. Okay. Oh, it's already been reported by Quint. Okay. Anyway, so that's a bugged run. So last gen. What's different? Oh, this is Phoenix again. So this is desktop. Let's disregard that. And Arrow Lake is desktop as well, right? Yeah, 245K. So the first true mobile we haven't beaten. That's Phoenix as well. So this is true mobile. So yet another world record, in a manner of speaking. But no one else has benched this gen, so you know that's not it's not too surprising. Okay, 2 tabs of this, 1 tab of this, and then I'll try to enable the max power mode thing. Uh, 1447 super pause 1080p. Okay. Let's go back to our little explainer. So control panel, hardware and sound, and then it's power options. Power options. Look for ultimate performance. Yeah, see the problem with all these power plan tutorials is they're usually outdated because Microsoft keeps on changing it. I feel like doing a Vantage run now. Who else feels like Vantage? Vantage is a quality God, okay, let's open a different browser. Edge. I want you to see all my tabs. Legacy, no, wrong keyboard. Legacy unsupported benchmarks UL future mark. There's a page with all the keys. I believe Vantage is part of that by now. Oh yeah, we'll just copy paste this. Kadunk. Okay, and then obviously deselect feature tests. I should probably, okay, for science, let's disable tessellation and rerun at least one of the superpositions. I don't know off the top of my head if that does anything in superposition on a mobile chip like this, but let's, out of an absolute abundance of caution, image sharpening, anti-lag, I want that off as well. FreeSync off. Oh, that would have hurt performance as well. Where's the setting? They keep moving it around. Disable anti-lag, disable image sharpening. It's here somewhere. Test, override, off. Okay, good that I sort of thought about LOD and test early on in this bench through. Okay, let's redo 1080p. Okay, that was a close call. Sweet. Getting places. I'm also waiting for... So I'm gonna upgrade my stream setup slightly. Waiting for someone to get back to me with a pretty good deal on a new face cam, so that'd be nice. It's Facebook Marketplace because that's where all the cool kids go now. So I'm just gonna check that. No response yet. Sweet. What else is there to talk about? Yeah, so... Oh, Paul, is it your first time in Taiwan? It's dark like that. What else? I thought I had some other things on my mind. Yeah, so for me, it's the first time for Computex, but I've been to Taiwan once before. Sorry, I just accidentally closed my stream, so I'm reopening that so I can follow the chat. Staying for 2 weeks. So are you doing the week after Computex or the week before? Because the thing with the week before is everyone, like, either one, from what I've heard, not that I would know, but from what I've heard, the week before Computex, you kind of on your own because everyone's preparing for Computex, so you can't like hang out with anyone basically. And the week after, everyone's destroyed from Computex, so you also can't hang out with anyone. I'm going. I'm flying on the 16th, but I'm not getting in until the 17th. So 17th of May until the 24th. So it's like a full week. So I think it's a good amount. I'm just back from a 5-week trip, so I was conscious of not like going away and like just using up all of my leave. So it's just a week, but I think it's good. I'll have some time before and some time after. 15th to the 28th. Well, if you're going for that period of time, make sure to go elsewhere in Taiwan. It's a big country. Like, people always look at Taiwan as like this tiny dot on the map, and they think it's just like Taipei, but that's not true at all. That dropped the score by 10 points. Interesting. Just run to run variance, I guess. Okay, now let's run Vantage. But there's a lot of in Taiwan, there's a lot of forest and hikes and nature and empty beaches and rural areas. And let's just double check that we had the new sysinfo system. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the latest. So if you're there for 2 weeks, I mean, I'm not much of a city person anyway, but I wouldn't, if I were you, I certainly wouldn't stay in Taipei for 2 weeks. I mean, I'm sure you can do stuff for 2 weeks, but I wouldn't recommend it. if you were asking me, not that you are. This wine is actually drinkable. You know, in 164 live streams, I believe this is only the second time I've drank wine on stream. Ooh. Oh, because of the res change. Okay. This is only the second time that I've drank wine on the stream. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, man, let's maybe talk. Oh, we've got a FBNSS in the house. Not a basket press kind of night. I'm not. I'm not a. I don't have a fully stocked wine cellar like you do. So this is Xanadu. In case anyone's interested, Xanadu. It is a 2021 Syrah Nouveau, and the winery is New South Wales, I think. If only. Oh, Western Australia. Oh, right. Okay, this is Margaret River. Let's watch Vantage. This is a legendary bench. Let's watch this bench, start to finish, and just enjoy the upskirt shots and the spaceships and the flying planes and all that. It's amazing. Bring a bottle of basket press. Oh, nice, very nice. Already looking forward to it. The bouncing tits. Yeah, man, Paul. I actually quite liked Hualien. I took a plane there. It was something like $40 to go to this place on a domestic flight. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. That's the only place outside of. I mean, I did hikes outside of Taipei, but the only trip like far away that I did. But this time I'm going to. I can't pronounce any of these places. Kaohsiung, some. Oh god, let's actually look it up. Let's do a bit of Taipei travel planning, I guess. Okay, Taiwan. Okay, so see here we've got Taipei, right? People think that takes up the entire island. Look how little of the country it takes up. Taiwan's big, man. So there's a high-speed railway. So you can see that the west is much more populated than the east is. So there's a high-speed railway line that goes from Taipei to Kaohsiung, which is where I'm going. So that's only 1.5 hours on a 300-kilometer-an-hour train. So that gives you an idea of how big the country is. But I flew to Hualien over here. That's why it's got all these little stars. So that was like a 20-minute flight over these mountains. That was pretty cool. I could see you could see the remains of like the earth, the what do you call it? Mudslides and things from the earthquake that same year. But the east only has regular like 150-kilometer-an-hour type or 120-kilometer-an-hour type trains. So to give you an idea, you might think this is small, but so it was a 20-minute flight. But then I took the fastest, most direct train along here, and it was like a 3.5 hour train. So by conventional train, let's say, it would be like a 7-hour train tip to tip to Taiwan. Okay, so those are the things I kind of know about because I'm either going to them or I've been to them. Hualien was just like a pretty small city. It's cool. You land in the airport and it's a shared Air Force base, so you see all these like F-16s and stuff. And then immediately, like, this beach is amazing, and it was completely empty when I was there. So let's see. So Fat Went Not Too Slim is in chat as well. Yeah, maybe he remembers something from his Taiwan escapades. I haven't heard anything. So like, if you really want to go hardcore, you can go onto the island. So I think. I'm not sure if Penghu is necessarily part of Taiwan, but you can fly domestic to these islands and have like an island holiday, and that's totally different. That's really rural, I've heard. So yeah, the interior is all like you can go stay on a tea plantation, I think, and the interior is all like jungle and stuff. Actually, that's what you have to look out for. Sometimes hikes get closed for because they've seen some killer hornet activity. Okay, let's watch the end of GT2. This is great. 3D benching is great for streaming. This bench looks different without dot, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Whiskey. Oh, there's a whiskey distillery. I didn't know that. Oh yeah, someone asked me the other day that they said they were going to take an Uber from the airport. I'm like, no way. So that's tip number one, I guess. Go to the MRT, Mass Rapid Transit Station at the airport straight away, and get one of those cards and load some cash onto it. It's kind of a cash society. I mean, it's this and that. The public transport stored value cards are all like you have to fill them up with cash, unlike some other countries. But like restaurants and things can accept cards and things. But yeah, like the train into the city is like, I looked it up again because this person was adamant that it was going to be easier for them to take a taxi, but it was something like in US dollars, it was something like $4 US one way from the airport, a 45-minute train ride on the train, and then later on you're going to be using the subway anyway, right? So it's not like if you take an Uber from the airport to the city, you're magically don't have to ever get this card and load it up and use it because you need it for the public transport anyway. So like, yeah, something like $4 US for that. And then I looked up an Uber and it's like an hour because with traffic, like the train doesn't have traffic, right? And it was like $50 or something. Memorials, okay. Ooh, if you, well, I don't know how much time you'll have around Computex, but so there's a second airport. This would be my insider's tip. What you do is, I'll take you there if I have the time, but this is the old airport that they've been trying to get rid of because it's right in the center of the city and can't be expanded. And then the new airport is all the way out here, hence why it takes 3/4 of an hour on the train. But Taoyuan, yeah, Taoyuan airport is that's the new one that they constantly expand. But then there's Songshan, which is the hip kids cool sort of airport. And what you do is you take so these are all MRT stations, right? You take this line to this stop and you walk the last 15 minutes to this viewing area, and it's fucking amazing. Well, I'm an aviation geek anyway, but it's like, this is not AI. This is actually what happens here, depending on the time of day, whether you get a wide body coming in or whatever. I went here. I have pictures too. I just don't have access to them right now. This is pretty much what it looks like. It's so good. I think even someone who isn't an aviation geek, just take 45 minutes or an hour out of your life. Take the train to the station, walk up to this, and just enjoy. It's fucking amazing. Meanwhile, we have a Vantage result. How does this compare? I'm curious if I'm just going to be able to get the sort of record every single time, or whether there's certain benches that need some tweaks. 3D Mark, Vantage performance. So we got a 32K. So this is Phoenix, this is Phoenix, this is desktop. This is Phoenix too, right? Oh, so this is one of the high TDP chips and it would have a better CPU test. Makes sense. So that's a high TDP. This is Cezanne on an SS. So we're slotted in around Cezanne. So like previous gen desktop. Okay, that's actually, considering how gimped my run must have been in the CPU tests, that is actually quite good. Like this GPU is seriously good. Let me just get the screenshot and then I'll run the other presets and the valid file as well. Come on, valid file. Okay, close, close, and now I believe it's gonna crash. Let's try entry. It's gonna crash on system info. I have to relaunch the bench, but let's see. Maybe not. Yeah, I'll be doing a, yeah. So here's the well-known system info bug, which you fix by relaunching the bench. Let's not forget to deselect the feature test again, because that's stupid. Let's do entry. Yeah. So Paul, like, I probably stayed there for an hour, and I like tuned into air traffic control on my phone and took so many videos and stuff. You don't have to go to those lengths, but like just to witness one plane landing and the how insanely loud it is and how insanely close they are. Totally worth it, man. Okay, so that's the entry. I'm trying to think. What else are like the survival tips for? See, like 500 FPS on an iGPU. I know this bench is ancient, but like that's pretty impressive. What are the other tips? Yeah, you gotta have cache. You've gotta have the public transport card. Install the apps. Like the apps have gotten so good at translating text to speech to text, speech to speech, text to text, pictures to text, whatever. It's just have it doesn't like I've been asked a few times what's the best translation app, and they're all so good it doesn't really matter. Like just install the Google Translate app in case you need it. That's pretty much it. And enjoy. Yeah, when I was there last time, I met Vince, I met Truthman, and I met Massman. There was that up skirt shot. Gotta love it. What's happened in terms of like good scores? I don't even know. I'm a little bit out of the loop on that. Hey Tantaketa, how are you doing? I'm doing some mobile benching today. Which is this thing. You got all the Aussies? What do you mean? There's only 2 Aussies in chat. Oh, well, Bullant. Okay, 3. Do I have Fiverr? Do I have Fiverr? I don't even know what that is. Please explain. Gotta love seeing those frames tick up. Do I have a fever? No, I don't. Actually, I'm feeling really well. But thanks for asking. What's Fiverr? I think there is actually an app called Fiverr, and I don't know if it's still around, but the concept was you put little jobs on this app, and they're supposed to cost only a fiver, like $5 or £5 or whatever. I don't know if it's still around though. Why am I benching a laptop? So, hey Hawthorne. It's exclamation point rig. So this is kind of a tradition. You may not have been there, but about 100 live streams ago, when I originally bought the laptop that this laptop replaced, I also benched through all of the benches. Maybe not literally all of the benches on stream, but I went through as many of them as I could, and then I finished it off stream afterwards. I just think it's a cool thing to do. Like, not every second stream. I know it's a bit dumb because it's not overclockable, but like, this is a new generation of iGPU that I don't see any results on HyperBot for. So I think it's just cool to run it like stock and see what I can get out of it. So this is my like daily laptop, um, and I bought it relatively recently, and I just wanted to kind of run through this benchmark suite while it's still sort of clean and new, and then just uninstall all of them and then just go to town and not worry about having to keep the laptop sort of in a benchable condition. Went out of stock. I'm not sure what you mean by that, sorry. But next stream will be a desktop again, don't worry. So here's the end of GT2. I just find it interesting, like the advances, 20 years ago, people would have probably killed. Well, 20 years ago, this bench didn't exist, but let's say 15 years ago, people would have killed for 6,000 ops in the CPU test, and now you can do it on a laptop. It's crazy. I need to start work. Okay, well, have fun with work, and see you in Taiwan, I guess. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, time for the second CPU test. Well, at least I'm not having any stream issues or anything, internet issues. I haven't streamed in so long. Wasn't even sure if my settings were still going to be good. I did get a notification from my energy provider that I'm going to have a power cut on Wednesday, so that's not great. Reply to this SMS with this one-time code. Okay. Okay, almost done. Let's see what the score is, and then compare again. So this is entry. Wow, 73k, looks big. Ooh, entry isn't... god damn it, entry isn't even a ranked benchmark. I forgot that, because for 3Mac11, entry is a ranked bench, but for Vantage, that's right, there are only 2 presets. Okay, so now let's go extreme. Still cool to see it clock up such high FPS. Set up a stream, yeah. Yeah, do. It's easy now. I mean, I think the USB capture cards are really, really cheap now, especially if if you're just doing 1080p, which most people are. That's what they're doing. Because if you're not partnered, certainly, I don't know about, maybe YouTube gives you enough bandwidth to stream in 4K or like 1440p, but if you're not partnered on Twitch, they don't give you enough bandwidth anyway to stream anything above 1080p. Even though, benching, you can get away with less FPS. Like if you're a gaming streamer, some like people stream at like 60 FPS. Maybe some people do even more than that. But since this is just someone moving a mouse around on a desktop, I decided to stream in 30 hertz just to give each frame a bit more quality, basically, within the 6 megabit sort of envelope that Twitch allows me. Because yeah, never getting partnered. Overclocking is just too niche. So this is what's the... I have a command that takes you to the link. But I've forgotten it. What is it? Stream rig, okay. And I said stream gear. Close, but no cigar. Yeah, kit.co. This is slightly outdated, but this is what I use. I mean, it's a bit overkill, but I use the Micro Four Thirds camera system. So here's my face cam lens. I have two Panasonic GH5s. I've got a vocal mic, which is probably overkill as well, which goes into a Steinberg USB audio interface. Then I have, which I'm not using right now, like I'm only using 2 inputs on this, but for an LN2 stream, I'll do like 5 cameras. Sorry, 4 cameras. So I have a Blackmagic quad HDMI for 4 cameras. So face cam, rig cam, pour cam, and room cam typically, if I have all 4 set up. Today I just have a rig cam and a face cam. And then I have the Magewell for display capture. I've got a Stream Deck Mini. I don't use more than 6 buttons, so the full fat Stream Deck is a bit expensive if I'm not going to use all those buttons, but I use the buttons to stream switch or scene switch really quickly like this. Yeah, and this is then my room cam lens. This is my rig cam lens, and I've got 1 or 2 spares here. And then the master mount is actually really good. I use that for the video light. So I have just cheap, it's not actually Viltrox, this is just an example of like the LED panel light that I'm using, which is just a knockoff Chinese AliExpress thing. So yeah, I use this mount to have the light. I'll show you what it looks like without the light actually. I mean, it's usable, but not ideal. It lights up. It means that I don't have to crank the ISO on my camera. And just I mean, you don't have to have a carbon fiber tripod, but I happen to have this left over for the rig cam, and then this solid arm, and that's what the face cam goes on. So I mounted just under the what do you call it, the benching monitor. So what's not on here actually I have is, and it's quite important, is an HDMI splitter. So the signal comes out here, but then I immediately duplicate it in a splitter. So what that does is I can then put 1 copy of the signal into the capture card, which is what you see on stream, which is this. But then I put another copy onto a monitor straight in front of me, so I don't have to like watch my own stream in order to see what's going on the bench rig. There you go. We want a rig cam. So I think that's pretty important to have an actual monitor that you can look at. What else do I use the HDMI splitter for? Yeah, it's pretty much just a dumb HDMI duplication. But I have used it for like multiple inputs before, I think. I don't know what these speakers are on here. I used to play some music on stream, but I always got copyright struck, so now I don't do it anymore. I'll have to delete that. Yeah, and then the streaming rig is just in one of these Cube MATX cases with just a cheapo B550 board and a Ryzen 5500 in it and 16 gigs of RAM. And then sometimes if I have an awkward camera placement, I use one of these small rig clamps. Is that everything? I'm trying to think. Oh, shit tons of really long HDMI cables. Yeah, image is crisp. Is it crisp? I mean, it's okay. So the limiting factor is how much bandwidth Twitch gives me. So I run, my cameras all do 4K 30p. So if I were able, like, and I have, what do I have in terms of upload? My home internet isn't even that great, but I have about 45 or 50 megabits of upload. So if it were possible, if Twitch allowed that amount of bandwidth for ingestion, then I could probably stream at like 30 megabits, which would mean I could probably, yeah, 30 megabit, like, so a Blu-ray, just for context, a Blu-ray, the peaks on a like in a 4K, like a physical Blu-ray, the peaks are 100 megabit. And that's using X265 compression. Sorry, H265 compression. Here I'm limited to X264 for software encoding. I don't use GPU encoding. I can't even remember why. There's some reason for that, but yeah. Slightly worse compression ratio on that codec, but still, let's just be generous and say 100 megabits of H265 is like 150 megabits of H264. Like that's a 4K Blu-ray. People blow that up to, 150-inch like screens and shit. Like that's pristine. So if you want to like half the quality of that, which I know bitrate halving doesn't mean half the quality. The quality will actually be above half because it's the first X megabits that get you most of the quality, and then it's diminishing returns. But let's just keep it simple. If you want half the quality of that, so 50 megabits H265, which would equate to 75. That's not even half the quality. So like what I'm saying is like 20-30 megabits would give me a really crisp 4K image, but I have to stick with 1080p because Twitch like throttles the ingestion on their servers. And I believe that's where like partner, so 6 megabits is the limit for even just a new streamer. There's affiliate, there's a new streamer, affiliate, and partner. I'm affiliate, but that doesn't give you any more bandwidth, which is kind of frustrating. But yeah, and I would never get partnered because I'd never get the views to get it and stuff. But if I were to get partnered, that's probably the first thing I'd do would be to switch to 4K because all my cameras can do 4K. And I think with a low motion stream like this, where it's dragging boxes around on a screen on a desktop most of the time, I think I would then, if they up the bandwidth a little bit, I would then be able to stream 4K 30 pretty well. What's this? 14614 Vantage stream. I say, okay, now we'll just have to save the valid file. Okay, so that's Vantage done. Let's go in a similar vein. Let's go 3D Mark 06 now. This is a quality bench, and I go unlauded and lauded just because I'm really curious. Thanks for dropping by, Fatboy not so slim. See you in June, I guess. Oh, I forgot to turn off sysinfo. How does this work again? You go right click, properties, no sysinfo. I think that's how it works. I can look it up anyway. .3D Mark. Oh, it's because it's the first launch, right? Rules. Let's just quickly get the code. Whatever. No, I do not want the tip of the day. So no sysinfo did not work. So let's go, I think it's double dash then. Depending on the benchmark, it's either single dash or double dash. It's still pretty slow to start up. I think it's still scanning system info. Yeah, okay, so then I think the actual command is system, no, system info. Yep. Okay. So see the faster startup. That's your cue. Okay. No feature test. No batch file test. Just the 4 GTs and the 2 CTs. Let's do it. 06. I haven't run 06 in such a long time. I'm excited, guys. Hey, Shaggy arrived at just the right time to tell me how to run 06. How are you doing? Are you going to I mentioned earlier on the stream, I'm going to Computex this year, so I might see you there. Are you going this year? Eight dual rank G die ECC DIMMs. 1680 V2, that's X58, i.e. LGA 1366. Is that right? Or is that a Haswell Xeon? X79, okay. From the 12th, nice. A lot of people seem to be doing longer trips. That's good. That's smart. I'm doing 16th to like 24th or 25th, or actually 17th. It's pretty short, but I'm just back from a long trip. IVE. I may even have a 1680 V2. Now that I think about it, it sort of rings a bell. Okay. Hey, who knew laptop benching was this much fun? Anything past 2600? Yeah, you get a lot of variance in IVE IMCs. Like some do just 2800 quad channel, so easy, and then others not. But you know, the fact that you're trying to run ECC is probably part of the difficulties you're experiencing here. Can you give us a sneak peek of what your project is this year, or is it top secret? Yeah, any particular reason you're trying to do it on ECC? ECC makes everything harder. Only an LN2 cool system. That's not only, that's actually nice. Nine DIMMs for $12. Okay, that's wow, 2 FPS through CT1. That's more than I was expecting. I'm so used to old legacy systems being like 1 FPS. That even peaked at 4 in the end. That's nice. I'm not so part of the difficulty is the only design choice that's a bit suspect, I feel like, is the previous ThinkPad I had was it was ejecting, like the fan was side ejecting out of the side, and I realized that like the way that the fan is mounted, right, like with how thin laptops are, because it's a it's a big fan that spins like this, right? If you have it ejecting out of the side, then the opening that it's ejecting the air out of is clearly going to be smaller, and the, let's say, the amount, like the area of the total area, spinning area of the fan, the area that is actually going to be close to the hole that you're trying to eject the air out of at any one moment in time is much smaller when you're side ejecting the air. versus bottom. But the thing with bottom is, because it's a laptop, it's literally in the name, right? It's a laptop. So often it's just smashed up against your whatever, your jeans or whatever, you know, your table, whatever. Like, I feel like it just ends up kind of overheating. No, this is a quiet and cool laptop. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it sort of goes towards overheating more often than it would need to if it just had the fan configuration set up differently. But that little stand at the bottom goes a little bit towards mitigating that. But yeah, I'm hearing the fan spin, but like the fan is down below. I can't really just put my hand up against it and feel how hot the air is coming out. Yeah, so this wine is actually pretty good. I'm liking it, and you know, so it's got a all Aussie wines pretty much are screw top because just the cost of I don't believe cork really grows in Australia. You could grow cork in Australia, but I don't think wineries are willing to dedicate land to growing cork for corks for bottles of wine. So pretty much all wine in Australia is screw top, and that means it's been breathing overnight, right? Since I opened it yesterday, I only had like half a glass yesterday, but it's still good to get today. That this grape must not be bad at keeping. CPU Z, CPU Z. I have no idea if this is a good or a bad score, but we might look at it later. Okay, over here, and then down here. Remind me to do a valid as well. Those are always fun. What's the actual score? 29, 585, 03, 06. Well, you know how it goes, right? After 06 has to come 05. Which is here, and it should have the same writer. No system info. Close this. Yes, system was not detected, so that's great. And now we go G1, 2, and 3, nice and quick. So ProxyCon first. Okay, here we go. ProxyCon, then Wisp, then Canyons, right? That's how 05 works. It's been so long since I've run it. So what area? Just if you want to share, Shaggy, what area, or even oh, Paul's gone. What area of Taiwan are you staying in? Taipei, I mean. What like suburb? Because it's a bigger place than you think, you know. So last time I was in Da'an. Yeah, Da'an district. That was so good. That was a really good location. Da'an. This time I'm thinking of going. So because I was only it would help if I changed scenes. So I was in Da'an. So the expo is. I thought I had it. Okay, yes, the expo's up here, so it's sort of east side. It's like places like I'd never consider Shiji ordinarily, but it's kind of nice being close to the expo. But what I think is like the insider tip is like, so again, if you see this line, the Songsha line, so these north side things north of the river, like Nehu district and Shongjiang, and even isn't there a small district here? I can't remember what it's called. I feel like staying up here, somewhere close to one of the stations. So I can get into the expo, but I'm not a zillion miles away from the actual action, you know, here downtown, basically. Chongqing and Datong. Anyway, just a couple of weeks away, pretty much. '05. Next is '03. Then Aquamark and '01. Those are the big hitters. After that, I'll have to do Heaven. I don't know how much longer I'll do, you know, I'll continue the stream after that. But I have to, those are the absolute must-haves, you know. Well, Superposition I did because I was curious, but Vantage, 11, 06, 05, 03, 01, Aquamark. Those are the big 7. 11, maybe. Not a massive fan of it. Should I run off a sneaky PC mark at the end to see how that scores? I'd be interested. Like, because it's such a light bench, maybe it scores well on, because it's a good, Zen 5 is a good microarchitecture to run PC mark on in general, and it's got an Opal, like an NVMe, whatever the latest version of NVMe is, SSD in it. So it's actually got potential to like score well in PC mark. Xinyi, yeah, Xinyi is pretty central as well, isn't it? Shogshan. Hold on, it's thrown me over to mainland China. Yeah, that's what I was looking at too, because it's on that brown line, right? That's probably as far away from the expo as I'd go. Because it's on the line, it's still bearable. Like, I wouldn't, so Computex is here. I wouldn't like go like Banqiao or something. Like, that's insane. That's like an hour to cross the city. But I go places that are physically close, like Shiji or whatever this place is, or just the Bang, just right next to the expo. Or I go places on this line. So like I was saying, Neihu, Shogshan, even Shang. It's confusing because so the airport is called Songshan, and the district it's in is called Songshan as well. But then right next door is Zhongshan, which to a Westerner, like that sounds like the fucking same, but like to a Taiwanese person, it's like, oh, how can you confuse those two? They sound totally different. But like Songshan, Shongshan. But anyway, either of those is fine. I was looking at a hotel right next to the airport here, actually. I would probably go. I would probably go to the viewing platform every day. I'm not gonna lie. I'm that big of an aviation geek, av geek. Okay, let's save this 05 run. I should have run off a sneaky valid there. That's a 4G valid. Where benching, see if you said that save. No, it didn't save at the high clock. Okay, I'll have to look at that separately. I want to get a high clock run. I mean high clock, I mean 4.4. Okay, so this is 05. 37,118 actually sounds low for 05. Let's keep going. Now let's go 03. Oh, 03 has way more options. 03 I've got to go hardcore on actually. Let's maybe even kill it. Details. It did start in the end. Okay, so no tips. That's the first thing. But then what you do is you select the GTs only. So you go GT1, GT2, GT3, GT4, and you go no system info and you go no splash and you go no screens, I think you can disable the so the splashes is a thing that happens when you initially open it. So now I've set no splash, so there's no splash. And I've also deselected the CPU test. You see that? Usually the CPU test will be selected, but since I went explicit GT1, 2, 3, 4, only those 4 are selected. But I think the no screens, what the no screens does, it gives you a blank in between the GTs. So, well, now my capture card conked out temporarily, but you see how there's no splash? Fuck, I love this bench. This is the greatest 3D bench of all time. 3000 FPS isn't that bad. That's a pretty good peak. I love 03. This is just like, you know, chef's kiss. I can't do it, but you know what I'm trying to do. Let's just watch this in all its glory. So we've got 05 already gave you the name. So we've got planes. Is it called caverns or something? What's the one with the lady called? So there's planes, Firefly. Oh no, that's right. Proxycon is second. Wow, how could I forget that? So planes, Proxycon, trolls, and nature. There you go. Those are the 4 GTs. So planes is finished. Now we're on Proxycon. Yeah, 301 Aqua. I might have to end it there. I've got my alarm rings at 5:55 a.m. tomorrow morning, so it's a bit unfortunate. I've also not had dinner, which is not really smart, but it can go both ways, right? Like sometimes I have dinner quickly after work, but I feel so full that I don't want to stream, and I don't end up streaming at all. Then the other way is you stream straight away after work, which is great, but then you get hungry. So there's no golden bullet. It's nice to see something other than a text box, isn't it? Just, I mean, look at like the art that's gone into these tests. You know, like this could be the 1000th time that I'm watching this GT, and I'm still like, oh, this is cool. You know, these 3 models, it's nice. So this is GT3. After that, we've got Nature, which is not to be confused with 01 Nature. It's quite different. Both of them have butterflies in them. You know, little known fact. Well, not really little known, but I thought I'd mention it. But in 03 Nature, you have a single butterfly land on a rock. And it's towards the very end of the GT. It's actually the very end of the GT. In 01, you have a group of butterflies flying in the air and never landing. And it's, I believe, towards the start of the GT. Fake news. Well, that's the same single butterfly that eventually lands at the end. See, this is part of the like art direction of this bench. You know, there's a story being told. You see the butterfly from the beginning, and then you just follow it up the stream, and there's lens flare, and it's just magic. And then there's this scene change, but the butterfly is still there, and it just keeps going. There's another scene change, and you see more of this stream, and it eventually decides to land on a rock, and then it fades out. Sorry, spoiler alert. I know it's very exciting to I don't want to spoil this 22-year-old bench, but there you go. It's found the rock it likes, and it's landing, and then we have a fade. The other fades were fade to white, but this is a fade to black. Boom. Do we have signal? 70k in 03, that sounds horrendous considering current scores are 300k, but you know, this is not a very good single threaded chip, understandably, because that's not the forte of mobile. Let's save it like this. 78823M03. I thought I had Aqua. Do I not have Aquamark installed? Maybe not. I do have the installer downloaded though, so Aqua. I'll just quickly run through that. Did it get flagged for malware or something? Because I kind of remember running through this installer. Strange. Okay, well, here's the shortcut. So the proof is in the pudding, as they say. If there wasn't a shortcut, it really wasn't installed. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Have a nice sleep. Until next time. Okay, Aquamark. I might run LOD for this. I'm very, very tempted to run LOD for this. Oh, it's not starting. Oh no. Whoa, blue screen on mobile benching. That's pretty spicy. I didn't think that was gonna happen. We're just running stock here. Okay, it's rebooting. Don't worry. All is under control. Wow, I really didn't expect that. A blue screen, 3D benching, and mobile iGPU. Now I've seen everything. It's kind of stuck. Let's try a hard reset, eh? Oh no, it's doing something. Okay. Both my screens are back. We have a fresh reboot. Let's try. Sorry, I'll have to kill a few things. Yeah, it's gonna be slow post boot. It shouldn't be this slow though. Try to launch from the start menu. Okay, so it's a repeatable blue screen on Aquamark. Who would have thought an ancient bench like this would bring a 2025 laptop to its knees? Hey, where's the postcode display? I'm benching here. Need to get onto the Lenovo to integrate a postcode display on this laptop. It's throwing so many blue screens. I need it. Okay. Okay, so Aqua is out for the moment. Should we run a 2D bench? Yeah, sorry, I need to do something. Why is this launching with the system? I don't want it to launch. There we go. Shut it down. Benchmade.org. Okay, while that's downloading, I'm gonna make a little results folder here. downloaded the O1 installer. I'll see if I can be a bit finicky sometimes in terms of, I already have Benchmade here. Anyway, actually installing. So I'll see how it goes. I'll leave the default path. And for that, let's go legacy. I should have 01 on there, right? 50301. Boom, there we go. Finish. So now we need to do the affinity trick. Details 3D mark. Set affinity. First two cores. Did I do it fast enough? I don't think I did. Oh, it did. Yes. Look at that. And now I need to deselect everything here except the 7 main tests. Okay, I should just cancel this download because I have another. Stop, close. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. 01 on a 2025 laptop. I'm excited, guys. Look at that, cars in all its glory. How does it go again? The default run order is cars low, cars high. What's the second test? Not dragons. Lobby. Shit, what's the default run order? Cars low, cars high. Oh no, they did all the low tests and the high tests, right? Man, I haven't done this in a long time, so I can't remember the run order. Yeah, okay, so cars low, cars high. Nature comes last. So there's lobbies and dragons. I think dragons comes before lobbies, so it's cars low, cars high. Dragons low, dragons high. Lobby low, lobby high, nature. Is that how it works? I'm not sure about those middle two. I thought, yeah, I'm pretty sure dragons comes before lobby. Yes, there we go. Lucky guess. This is a pretty cool GT for 25-year-old bench. I mean, the sort of point of view shot there and just the inventiveness of it is amazing. I wonder what's going on with Aquamark, because it sort of launches an inbuilt GPU Z. Like, is there any way I can replace that executable or stop it from launching that? Because it feels like that's the part that's causing the blue screen. Okay, so now lobby low, lobby high, and then nature. And are we gonna break? It's so hard to predict with these old benches. Are we gonna break 200K? I don't think so. I think this is gonna be like a, because it's on Windows 11 and stuff, so it's gonna be like a 170K, I reckon, something like that. Because lobby low isn't even maxing out 999 on the FPS counter, which you can't see, but trust me, it's in the 700s. So that was lobby low, now lobby high, and then nature. liking this beer, this wine. Maybe I'm converted to a wine drinker on stream. That's the alcohol content. That's always the important part, right? 750 mil, 14%. Okay. Okay, that was lobby high. Now the crowning finale, which is 01, nature. See the group of butterflies? See, the narrative is slightly different here. The butterflies are not the main actor in nature. They actually just disappear right off screen at the beginning of nature, or they kind of come back. Okay, so there's the same dynamic of fade to white for scene changes, but see, now they're gone. So like 2 scene changes in. Yeah, what butterfly? Because you have a lot so high that you can't see them exactly. So it's 2 scenes. So here's the lens flare, similar to 03, but they kind of like they come back in, but they're not. Okay, we still have a stream just like in 03, but I feel like they're not like the main actor of this GT. You know, like okay, here they're back again. Maybe I just need to bench more 01. Oh, was that a crash? I don't remember that. Oof. Look at that. I predicted 170k. Look, it's still a gold because no one else has any results. But this is fucking hilarious. 59k in 01. That's an achievement, like a negative achievement. Oh, that's rough. Need to remember to scroll down. There you go. Okay, the less is said about this result, the better. It's pretty embarrassing. Okay, what I will do is I'll do valids. Valids should be easy. I mean B clock, and just because I'm okay. So 3,000. How am I gonna do this? Did that help? Did that work? No, that didn't even valid, did it? No, that was lower. So I'll install Benchmate and I'll run 1M, I guess, and I'll put affinity onto that thread in CPU-Z and then get a valid from that. I think that's the way to go. Yeah, okay. What butterfly? Configure everybody, yes. No, install side by side. Yeah, I don't have older versions. What's the double slash about? I hate Benchmate. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? I'm already regretting it. Oh, maybe Benchmate install is the ideal way to get a high valid. No, it turns out no. Definitely not. Can I go these middle? Maybe I just need to go to these middle cores. No, I'm terrible at mobile valids. It turns out. Oh, it went 5G for a second there. It's harder than it looks. Turns out. Yeah, let's close. What do I want to do? Maybe I finish off the stream on a 32M. That'll be actually interesting to see on the fast mobile RAM, but very limited in terms of CPU speed. Okay, I said launch. Okay, so what's even fast anymore? I'd imagine you want fuzzy wazza. I imagine that's what you want. No auto minimize. You want AWE. Yeah, you want AWE fuzzy. I think this is a. I'm not going to tweak this shit, but like. What? I don't remember. To enhance with page locking. Okay, I'll go without page locking, and we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, this will be the last bench of the stream. So let's check. Let's actually check. So what is a good AM532M, which is like 4 minutes 30 or something like that. Processor. SuperPi 32M, and then we go restrictions on the CPU, and it's gonna be a socket AM5. 4 minutes 5 on LN2. Okay, let's compare ambient to ambient. So let's just specify air custom, whatever. That's a random thing. No one has air custom. Okay, water custom. Okay, so the best water custom is a 4 minute 41. Fuck, that run feels fast. Like to already be at loop 3 without me even looking at it. That feels really fast. So loop 3 only 20 seconds behind, and this is like a full fat. We'll compare like the L3 cache and stuff like that later. But this is the same architecture, just desktop versus mobile, higher TDP versus lower TDP, better cooling versus worse cooling, overclockable versus not overclockable. Just these kind of comparisons are interesting. I find them interesting. I mean, overclocking, like, it's a bit paradoxical because this is an overclocking stream and this laptop is not overclockable, but just as a basis of comparison, you know, I find it interesting. Like, this is only the second laptop stream out of 164 streams, so I feel like, you know, every 100 streams having a laptop stream can be interesting. For me, at least. I don't know. Tell me in the chat if you think it's the most fucking boring thing you've ever watched, but you know what I mean. Well, that's running. You know, I don't think I've actually, besides checking the dates on this site, let's go to English. A lot of scripting. I don't think I've. Ooh, there's a visitor pre-registration. Maybe I should do that. Okay, I mean, that's obviously something I'll do off stream, but I might do that just in case I really get stuck for a pass. I don't know how it works anyway. You benched a laptop once and you were screamed at for using LOT. LOT is allowed? What are people talking about? So everything's really AI focused. I'm excited to go, man. Hotel lists. Visa application. Weird. ARM leadership. Who's at the keynote? Foxconn, Qualcomm, Jensen, of course. I don't know what he's going to be talking about because they just released a new generation, so it's just going to be like AI. I'm amazing. My name is Jensen. AI. Okay, is there a list of keynotes? 2080 laptop GPU. Okay, let's do it. 2080 mobile hardware. It comes up straight away. You're infamous, Shaggy. Okay, I'm not actually signed in here, but that should be fine. Okay, so what? Okay, so it's Fire Strike, which lot is allowed in, but you've got a 9900K. Is this like a desktop replacement laptop? Because like how do you have a desktop 9900K in a laptop? I'm confused. I'm very confused. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so Dell vendor on the card, so that's a legit mobile card. But then 5.2 gigahertz on a 9900K, which is like that's just a desktop chip. Slow DDR4, which does sort of indicate a laptop. Oh, it's an Alienware laptop. Okay. I mean, what's wrong with this? This is legit. Let's look at the verification link. I'm giving it a thumbs up. No verification link required? What? Oh, it's not in a competition. Okay, fair enough. Alienware, Serenity. You know we have been trying to keep the LOD hack runs out of the mobile benchmarks. It's considered common courtesy. Who is this fucking person? Like, what? It's a 6 hardware point score. Like, who gives a flying fuck? This is just so bizarre. People have too much time on their hands. As close to legit as possible. Mate, the rules for Fire Strike are the rules for Fire Strike. There's no distinction between mobile. This is just bizarre. LOD test allowed. It's in capital letters. What more do they fucking want? A common courtesy situation. Who is John KSSSSSSS to say what's common courtesy or what isn't? It's just bizarre. Okay. I feel sort of tempted to like respond to that. That's just beyond the pale. But anyway, we are at loop 23. So I do need to have dinner and go to sleep. 7 minutes. Okay, so it is 2 minutes slower. What is that down to? I mean, we're down a gigahertz on the run I was looking at. We're down cache as well. So this was a 7950X 3D. So it's got 100 and wow, I can't even count that high. 128 megabytes of level 3 versus 16. Okay, that's part of the difference, I guess. I might dig into that. This is kind of interesting how it's so much slower. To the score again. This is from 2019. Do you think people really remember that? I suppose they do. People are really petty in this day and age, I have to say. Yeah, that's valid, isn't it? Oh, I forgot that this thing. Options, scale to 50%, validate, move this across. Beautiful. Okay. So now I'll do a 1M with CPU-Z open. I'll try to catch a good valid. I always like doing valids. You know what? The last bench that I run might be Geekbench AI actually. I'm curious. I've never run it. So 1M, and then we check for the best thread. 5G. Did it do it? Oh, it always downclocks. Wow, it downclocks so hard. Let's just watch them. Oh, the run finished. Okay, let's just rerun. It's 10.5. It just immediately downclocks. Yeah, this is harder than I thought. 10.4. Now let's do again with just everything closed and no fucking around with valids. I'll have to do that off stream. 8. Okay. Okay, so that's a legit. Is it a legit score? Oh, benchmate. Benchmate died because I'm validating during it. Okay. One last time. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. .4, that's solid. So now benchmate is still alive, so I can do this, and then I'll do this. Okay, so that's saved. What was the... Yeah, I have no idea what the run length even is, but I did go to the trouble earlier of installing every Geekbench, so 3, 4, 5, 6, and AI. And I've never, I swear on my life, I've never run Geekbench AI, so I now am in the unique position of having an online rig anyway, which is what Geekbench AI requires, unless you buy the really overpriced license. So, wow, this is... I don't know what Onyx is. I don't know what OpenVino is. I don't know what DirectML is, but let's just run with whatever the default is. Let's do it. So now it's doing image classification. Ooh, seems like a quick run. That progress bar moved quickly. Interesting. I mean, so the general style of the bench is very much in the Geekbench vein. Like every Geekbench ever has just been a progress bar going across the screen. But now we're doing pose estimation. Whatever that is. And it's doing a lot of it. Like different flavors of it. It was a HP. Now it's object detection. All right, so the run, it feels like the run length is like Geekbench 5, 6 style. You know, not as quick as 3 and 4, but still reasonable. Should use AI to determine the right framework. You're totally right, man. You're totally right. Depth estimation, style transfer. I'm intrigued. I mean, it's literally just a bar moving across the screen, but I'm intrigued by what's going on here. So I feel like it's appropriate to look up the rankings because I don't know, like what's the world record for Geekbench AI right now? Is it even ranked? Is it a beta benchmark or? So it gets harbor points, and it's not in beta. It is in beta. Okay. Just the new design is confusing me. So I would be ranked under the 8 core category, which is the current world record is 15,556 points. And it's by whom on what platform? It's on a 9800X3D. Okay, we're not gonna get there. Oh no, it's opening it in the browser with all the tabs. Okay, so what's the actual score here? What the hell? I'll have to look up the rules to even understand which score is the score. So let's look up the rules. No OS limitation. Single precision score. So, okay, the single precision score is what counts. So 2655, and we're up against someone who's on 15K. No, hold on. I need to rerun this. This is not. This is like I feel like I'm. This CPU is literally called AI. We've got to at least optimize the framework such that we get the best score. So let's save this for reference. And there's no GPU component, right? So I should be safe in just opening a few CPU-Zs and that's it. No GPU-Z. So the default is bullshit. 2655 Geekbench AI. So that was ONNX and CPU. Let's try ML. Let's try the ML backend. Machine learning. It's got to be fast, right? Maybe because it's the same microarchitecture. I should just probably look at DumDTX Desar's score. He probably figured out which one to use. So according to the screenshot, it's OpenVINO and CPU. Okay, interesting. Let's try that next. OpenVINO. Who would have thought? So I'm drinking vino, benching OpenVINO. You know, it was meant to be. No service. Okay, so sorry, it feels like the run is quicker. Like maybe this is the in-between speed setup that I'm running here. Text classification. Machine translation. So we had a 26. Oh, okay. So now we've got a 6.6. Okay. But I'm gonna go straight to CPU OpenVINO. I mean, so we had a 2.6. Now we've had a 6.6. On the desktop chip, he's got a 15.5K at 5.7 gigahertz. So I feel like if this really is the correct setup, like the optimal setup, this should be like on mobile. I'm gonna give it a guess. It'd be like a 9K, maybe something like that. I don't know if run length really gives you any clues. Like, if the run feels faster, is it actually faster? This seems slow. Well, it's always a minute and 40 or something like that, isn't it? It seems slow. So ML keeping the top drop down the same ML was quicker than the default. Now I kept the bottom drop down on the default and changed the top drop down, and I'm not sure. Okay, terrible. Great. So OpenVINO is a no-go. So ONNX and DirectML. AI device is not selectable. Okay, let's do one rerun. Maybe it's just really variable, but we had a 6.6 last time. If we get another 6.6, then I'll save that, and that'll be the end of the stream. Yeah, it does seem a little bit like the run length is proportional to the score. Not in a massive way, but how can I get a proper valid out? XOC mode might help. What bench do I run that's just heavy enough to boost to the top speed, but not so heavy that you end up throttling straight away again? Yeah, okay. It just feels faster, doesn't it? Yeah, 6.7. Okay. It's just because I'm so unfamiliar. Let's make sure that I have the right. It may require the verification URL, so I'll say that in a text file. Let's go rules. No OS limitation. Yeah, okay. Verification link is required. Okay, I'll switch away and actually enter my details, which are not for public consumption. Okay, so that sign in, okay. So the screenshot should have the valid file, the valid link open. Plus they're indicating CPU and memory, okay, but they're showing what do you call it? The motherboard tab as well. So let's do it like this. I don't need to save the link because it's just in my account. It's all good. I just need a screening. So that's how Ryzen AI works, eh? We've all learned something. 6703, not Ryzen AI, Geek AI. I was about to shut down the system because I'm like, oh, I'm done benching it, but it's my daily, so I'll just disconnect it from everything it's connected to. And thank you guys for I may as well just show you everything about the system now that it's disconnected. So this is the form factor. It's got the little camera ridge at the top, which I had to get used to. It's got really good brightness, really good viewing angles on the screen. It's nice and light, just the typical Lenovo styling. And then, like I was saying, bottom venting for the cooling, which my previous laptop didn't have. Anyway, 2.5+ hours in. Thanks for watching. It's great to be back. And I hope to stream at least one more time before I go to Taiwan. But I'm only there for a week, so you know that's not going to interrupt the streaming schedule too much. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.